Voting rights in America has been a fight since the inception of this country. Only a few have had the power to use the ballot box to create public policy and to move resources to improve their part of America. But many have been left out of the ability to participate in what is our democracy through voting. More specifically, laws and public policy and practices throughout history have suppressed African Americans, have suppressed women, and have suppressed individuals of color who have wished to gain an opportunity to push our country into a more inclusive and more democratic form of government. Voting rights in America has been a struggle from the very beginning of our country because it is the most powerful weapon that's used to create policy and ultimately use resources to create opportunity for many in the country. So we understand the fight. We understand why some want to expand access. We understand why some do not. But 2020 is a year that will go down in history that will teach us that expanding access to the ballot box is the right thing to do. It's also the best thing for our democracy. Every 10 years, the United States takes the U.S. Census, and those numbers are very important as it relates to voting rights. Those numbers that are utilized in the next year are used by states in order to determine the population of their states for the apportionment of the number of seats in Congress that they are allowed to have through the House of Representatives. Therefore, it's very important that you be counted. It's very important that every citizen is counted. It's very important also to understand how those lines are drawn. Every state is given the ability to draft and create the policy and the parameters around how those lines are drawn. In 1920, the United States passed the 19th Amendment, basically known as women's suffrage. It provided and gave the right of women to vote. Therefore, laws and policies that discriminated against women by their sex could not stand constitutional muster anymore. Since that time period, the women and the right to vote has been key to winning many elections. In 2020, we celebrated 100 years of women's suffrage. And we celebrated not just the 19th Amendment, but we celebrated every single milestone from 1920 to 2020. Whether it be the marches in Washington in the 1920s and leading up to the marches in 2020 for the 2020 election. 100 years of women voting, 100 years of women empowerment, 100 years of women playing a major part in our democracy is something that our nations should celebrate and continue to foster women leaders across our country.